Say this psalm on August 12, 13, 2025. Watch every door open in 72 hours, beloved. There are moments in life when heaven aligns with your destiny, when the spiritual currents shift in your favor, and what was once locked, hidden, or delayed suddenly swings open before you. August 12 and 13, 2025 are not ordinary dates. They are appointed times, divinely coded into your journey, where the voice of faith can command the unseen to obey. On these days you are not simply reciting words. You are speaking a sacred decree that carries the authority of the one who spoke the universe into existence. The psalm you will declare is not a ritual, but a key, fashioned in the realm of the Spirit, to unlock every gate, dismantle every barrier, and cause doors to open in places you have long been denied. And in the next 72 hours, if you speak it with faith and see it in your heart, you will watch those doors swing wide as if the hinges of heaven were turned just for you. This is not about chance. It is about alignment, authority, and the unstoppable law of manifestation that responds to the spoken word as a spiritual key. There is a mystery woven into the very fabric of creation, a truth so powerful that once you grasp it, you will never again speak carelessly, never again treat your words as ordinary. The spoken word is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the invisible and the tangible. It is the tool God placed in the hands of man to create, to shape, and to call forth realities that have not yet appeared. From the very beginning, God demonstrated this principle, and God said, and it was so. The universe did not emerge from physical hands molding clay. It came from a voice speaking into the void. Every miracle, every breakthrough, every open door begins with a word spoken in faith. This is why, on August 12 and 13, 2025, when you speak the psalm given to you, you are not merely reading holy poetry. You are striking the match of creation in your own life. You are sending forth a decree that will not return empty, but will accomplish the very thing for which it was sent. Words are not vapor. They are containers, holding within them the creative power of your intention. When you speak, you release vibrations that carry your inner belief into the unseen realm, and those vibrations do not disappear. They set things in motion. You must understand that in the spiritual realm there is no such thing as an idle word. Every utterance is a seed planted, and every seed will bear fruit according to its kind. This is why you cannot mix doubt into your declaration, for mixed seeds produce tangled harvests. If you declare the psalm with your mouth, but contradict it with your inner dialogue, you will be like a farmer who plants wheat and weeds together. He will not know what grows until harvest, and by then the purity of the crop is lost. This is why the days of August 12 and 13 hold such importance. They are appointed moments, days in which the spiritual soil is fertile, the air thick with divine expectancy. When you speak the psalm on those dates, your words are like arrows shot into a target that is already marked for victory. You will not be fighting to make something happen. You will be aligning with something that is already prepared to unfold. But the key lies in your understanding that the spoken word must be backed by unwavering faith. Faith is not mere hope. It is a knowing, a settled assurance that what you speak is already accomplished in the unseen. When you take the psalm upon your lips, do so as one who knows the keys of the kingdom have been placed in their hand, and now all that remains is to insert the key into the lock and turn it. Too many people treat prayer and scripture as desperate pleas, as though they are begging a reluctant God to do something. That is not the posture of power. The psalm is not your plea. It is your legal claim on what has already been promised to you. When a king speaks, he does not ask permission. He issues decrees, and you, as a child of the king, carry that same authority in your words. This is why you must speak with confidence, without wavering, without the tremor of doubt in your voice. Consider this: every door you need opened exists right now, but it may not be visible to your natural eyes. It could be hidden by fear, by timing, by opposition, or by spiritual resistance. But when you speak the psalm in faith, you send forth a command that pierces through every barrier. Think of it as a divine password. Once spoken, it gives you access to realms and opportunities that were previously inaccessible, But just as with any password, precision matters. You cannot mumble it carelessly or speak it while your mind wanders. You must focus, fully present in the moment, as if the very act of speaking is chiseling open the door before you. As the words roll off your tongue, picture them moving into the unseen realm, becoming agents of change. See them pushing against locked gates, loosening hinges, removing bolts. See them carrying your faith into rooms where decisions about your future are being made. See them influencing hearts, opening pathways, and orchestrating alignments you could never arrange in your own strength. On August 12 and 13, I want you to approach the speaking of this psalm as a sacred act of creation. Prepare yourself in advance, clear your mind of clutter, quiet your heart from anxiety, and stand in the awareness that you are about to release spiritual power. Do not rush. Take a breath. Center your mind on God's promise, and let every word be a deliberate strike against the walls that have confined you. As you speak, let gratitude rise in you, not for what you hope will happen, but for what you know is already set in motion. Remember, the door opens not because you are begging for it to open, but because your words have aligned you with the reality where it is already open. You are not pulling blessings down from heaven. You are stepping into the vibration where they already exist. The psalm becomes the frequency that tunes your life to the channel of divine favor. In these 72 hours that follow, watch with expectancy, not anxiety. The seed has been sown. Now trust the law of growth. Seeds do not sprout the moment they hit the soil. They germinate in the dark, unseen to the naked eye, but very much alive. Your words, too, will work in places you cannot see. They will influence decisions, rearrange schedules, cause delays to vanish and approvals to appear. You may receive unexpected calls, messages, or encounters. People who had forgotten you may suddenly remember you. Opportunities you thought were lost may resurface. And even if nothing looks different immediately, hold your posture of faith, for the power of the spoken word does not dissipate, it compounds. Do not underestimate this. Every time you open your mouth, you are either unlocking a door or securing it tighter. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. This is why the psalm you will speak is not just another scripture. It is your divine key for this moment, and in the right hands at the right time, a key can open what years of effort could not. The right word, spoken in alignment with faith, can collapse walls in seconds. Remember Jericho. The walls did not fall because of brute force, but because of a sound released in obedience to divine instruction. Likewise, the psalm you will speak is your sound of victory, your shout that causes the barriers to crumble. So on these appointed days, do not come timidly. Come as one who knows the authority given to them. Stand in the awareness that your words are not bouncing off the ceiling. They are being heard, recorded, and acted upon in the spiritual realm. And once spoken in faith, the door must open. Whether it is the door to provision, healing, reconciliation, opportunity, or breakthrough, your word, aligned with His word, is unstoppable. You hold the spiritual key, now use it, and watch heaven respond. Belief. The law of divine timing. There is a rhythm to the universe, a divine order woven into the flow of life, and when you learn to move with it rather than against it, doors open with ease, prayers manifest swiftly, and miracles unfold naturally. Timing is not an accident. It is a law, a spiritual alignment that governs the manifestation of everything in creation. Just as the ocean tides rise and fall at set intervals, just as the moon moves through its cycles and seasons change in their appointed order, so too does your destiny operate within God's perfect calendar. There are moments when heaven's clock strikes in your favor, when circumstances that once seemed immovable suddenly yield, and opportunities that were closed for years swing wide without resistance. This is why August 12 and 13, 2025 are not just random dates marked on a human calendar. They are divinely appointed days, moments where the spiritual atmosphere carries a unique charge, a readiness to deliver what you have been praying, believing, and preparing for. You must understand that in the spiritual dimension, timing is as crucial as the action itself. The right word spoken at the wrong time can fall flat, but the right word spoken at the divinely appointed moment can change the course of your life in an instant. This is why the psalm you will declare on these dates will carry an extraordinary potency. It is not that the psalm itself is powerless on any other day. Scripture is always alive and active, but when it is spoken in harmony with divine timing, it is like releasing a seed into soil at the peak of its fertility, under the exact conditions required for immediate growth. Farmers do not plant in the dead of winter, no matter how good their seed is, because the conditions are not right. In the same way, the Spirit orchestrates moments when conditions in the unseen realm are perfect for manifestation. And this is what August 12 and 13 represent, days when your seed, words will find the soil of destiny fully ready to receive them. Many people grow weary in waiting because they mistake delay for denial. They believe that if something hasn't happened yet, it must not be meant for them. But divine timing is not about withholding. It is about preparation, alignment, and protection. Sometimes God holds back the manifestation because the atmosphere around you is not yet able to sustain it. If the door opened too soon, you might walk into an opportunity that collapses because the structure wasn't ready. Or worse, you may step into something before you have the wisdom, strength, or faith to steward it. The delay is not punishment, it is preservation. When the appointed time arrives, it will not feel like striving, it will feel like stepping into something that has been waiting for you all along. This is why you must not simply rush into declaring the psalm on any random day, without understanding what you are stepping into on August 12 and 13. These days have been marked in the Spirit as moments where the locks on the doors of your destiny are already loosening, the hinges are already turning, and the gates are already swinging. Your declaration will not be trying to force something into existence. It will be the final push, the spoken agreement that allows what is already opening to fully swing wide. And because the law of divine timing is at work, you will not need to knock multiple times. Your words will be like the master key that meets the lock in the exact moment it was designed to open. Consider the countless times in Scripture where timing determined the miracle. The Red Sea did not part a day before or a day after. It opened at the precise moment when Moses stretched out his hand. The walls of Jericho did not crumble on the first day of marching. They fell on the seventh day after the seventh lap. At the exact moment the trumpet was blown. Jesus did not arrive at Lazarus' tomb when the sisters wanted him to. He came at the appointed moment when the miracle would reveal the glory of God most powerfully. These are not coincidences. They are demonstrations of the law of divine timing. And the same law is operating for you right now. This is why, in these appointed days, you must be spiritually alert and expectant. Divine timing is like a spiritual tide. If you are ready when it rises, you can sail forward with minimal effort. If you miss it, you may have to wait for the next cycle. Your readiness determines whether you catch the wave or watch it pass by. The psalm you will speak on August 12 and 13 is your way of catching the wave, stepping into the flow, and allowing the momentum of heaven to carry you into the doors that are about to open. This is not the moment to hesitate, doubt, or postpone. This is the moment to move in faith, speak with authority, and position yourself for manifestation. But let me also say this. Divine timing is not just about a date on the calendar. It is also about the condition of your heart. If the soil of your faith is dry, if your mind is cluttered with fear, or if your spirit is weighed down by doubt, you may not be able to fully receive what is being released. This is why preparation is essential. In the days leading up to August 12 and 13, clear out mental clutter, release unforgiveness, and quiet your soul. Step away from voices that breed fear, arguments that drain your faith, and distractions that pull you from the presence of God. The clearer your spirit, the stronger your alignment with divine timing. When the 72 hours following your declaration begin, trust that things are already moving, even if you cannot see them yet. Divine timing often works in hidden places before it reveals itself in visible results. The moment you speak the psalm, assignments are released in the spirit angels move, hearts are stirred, obstacles begin to crumble, and pathways begin to form. You may notice small signs first, a sudden email, a random meeting, an unexpected piece of information, or even a feeling of peace that settles over you. These are signals that the tide is rising and that your faith has aligned with the moment heaven has prepared. Understand this: when you operate in divine timing, you do not chase opportunities. They come to you. You do not strive to force doors. They open at your approach. You do not manipulate circumstances. They align naturally in your favor. This is the beauty of moving in step with the rhythm of heaven, and this is why August 12 and 13, 2025 are so significant for you. They are days when heaven's rhythm and your earthly actions will meet in perfect harmony. So approach these dates with reverence and anticipation. Do not treat them as ordinary days. Wake up early, speak the psalm with focus, and believe that the law of divine timing is working for you. Carry yourself throughout the day as if the doors have already opened. Be watchful for divine nudges, sudden ideas, or unexpected connections. These are the early fruits of the timing you have stepped into. And in the days that follow, you will see how perfectly heaven orchestrates the sequence, one open door leading to another, one divine encounter leading to the next, until the fullness of your breakthrough unfolds before your eyes. Divine timing is not luck, it is law, and when you move in it, you cannot miss what God has for you. The psalm is your declaration. August 12 and 13 are your appointed days, and the next 72 hours are your window of manifestation. Step into it boldly, for the clock of heaven is striking in your favor. The inner image creates the outer result. Everything you experience in the physical world is a reflection of the inner world you carry within you. Life is not happening to you by accident. It is unfolding in alignment with the images you hold in the secret place of your imagination. Your mind is the blueprint room of your destiny, and every thought, every picture, every feeling you dwell upon is a brushstroke in the painting of your future. The psalm you will speak on August 12 and 13, 2025, will not be effective simply because the words are holy. It will work because of the inner picture you allow those words to create in your heart. The mistake many make is to speak promises without ever seeing themselves inside those promises. They declare blessings but still imagine themselves struggling. They speak of open doors while picturing walls. They recite healing scriptures while picturing sickness. And as long as the inner image contradicts the spoken word, manifestation is delayed or distorted. This is why the inner image is everything, because the outer world is only the mirror. The mirror does not create the image, it only reflects it. If you want a different reflection, you must change the picture inside. When you speak the psalm on these appointed days, you must not do so from the position of hoping it might happen. You must see it as already done. Picture the doors you have been praying for. Imagine them not only opening, but opening wide and staying open. See yourself stepping through them, feeling the texture of the floor beneath your feet, hearing the sound of the hinges swinging, smelling the newness of the atmosphere you are entering. Let it become so vivid in your mind that your senses cannot tell whether it is imagination or reality. This is the secret. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. When you feed it a picture over and over with emotion and conviction, it accepts it as true, and once accepted, it goes to work making it visible in your life. This is why faith is described as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not a vague feeling. It is the inner substance, the mental evidence that the thing already exists. The psalm you speak will be the declaration, but the inner image is the evidence you carry within. When both align spoken word and inner vision, the result is inevitable. Imagine two keys turning in the same lock at the same time. That is what happens when your outer confession matches your inner imagination. The lock must give way. But here's the danger. If you speak the psalm while secretly holding an image of defeat, the outer world will continue to reflect the defeat. This is why some people pray for years without results. They are declaring with their lips what they have not yet believed in their heart. The lips can speak one thing, but the inner image can cancel it. This is why preparation for August 12 and 13 must begin now. Begin rehearsing the image of victory in your mind. When doubt tries to creep in, replace it immediately with the picture of the door open and you walking through it. When fear says, "What if it doesn't happen?" see it happening anyway and hold that image until the fear fades. Understand this: the inner image is the womb of manifestation. Just as a child develops in the hidden place before being revealed, so does every answered prayer. You do not see the baby the moment it is conceived, but you know it is there. You care for it, protect it, feed it, because you know in time it will be visible to all. The same is true for your open doors. They begin in the hidden place of imagination, and when nurtured by faith and watered with the spoken word, they grow until they break into your visible reality. This is also why gratitude is such a powerful force in shaping the inner image. Gratitude is the emotional proof that you believe you already have it. When you are grateful for something before it physically appears, you are sending a signal to your subconscious that it already exists. That signal becomes the dominant picture, and the outer world will bend to match it. So when you speak the psalm, let gratitude flood your heart, not as a forced emotion, but as the natural overflow of knowing the door is already open in the spirit. Do not underestimate the role of your senses in strengthening the inner image. If you are believing for a home, walk through model houses or visualize walking through your own front door. If you are believing for a job, picture yourself sitting at your desk, signing the contract, or hearing the words, "You're hired." If you are believing for healing, see yourself running, laughing, and moving without pain. Engage your imagination until it feels so real that you find yourself smiling or even tearing up. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual creation. When August 12 and 13 arrive and you speak the psalm, you will be speaking into a mind and heart already prepared, already filled with the image of what you desire. That is when the spoken word becomes unstoppable, because there is no inner resistance to cancel it. And when the next 72 hours unfold, you will not spend them anxiously looking for signs. Instead, you will move through them with quiet confidence, knowing that the outer world is simply catching up to the inner reality you have been living in for days, weeks, or even months. You will notice small alignments, phone calls, emails, meetings, chance encounters, that are all pieces of the picture you have been holding inside. Remember, the door cannot open on the outside until it opens on the inside. You may think you are waiting for a physical event, but heaven is waiting for your inner image to match the promise. Once it does, the outer result is inevitable. This is why Jesus often asked people before healing them, "Do you believe?" Because belief is the inner agreement that makes the miracle possible. Your inner image is your agreement with God's promise. It is you saying, "I see it as you see it." And when you see as God sees, you create as God creates. So in these final days leading up to the appointed moment, guard your imagination like a treasure chest. Do not let fear, doubt, or negativity plant counterfeit images in your mind. Protect the vision, nurture it, and feed it with words of life. Every time you repeat the image, you are building it stronger, more vivid, more undeniable. And when you stand on August 12 and 13 to speak the psalm, you will not just be speaking words. You will be releasing an image so strong, so aligned with heaven, that the outer world will have no choice but to mirror it. The inner image is the seed, the spoken word is the water, and divine timing is the sunlight. When all three meet, manifestation is not a question, it is a certainty. See it, speak it, step into it. And in 72 hours, you will watch what was once only in your mind become the reality you now walk through. Gratitude, as the Accelerator gratitude, is not just a polite response to blessings received. It is a spiritual force that accelerates manifestation, multiplies favor, and cements the reality of the promises you believe for. It is the evidence of faith in action, the visible sign that you already consider the door open, the prayer answered, and the blessing secured. Most people wait until they see the result before they give thanks, but the spiritual law operates in reverse. You give thanks before you see it, and that act of faith draws it into your experience faster than anything else. Gratitude is not passive, it is creative. It is a declaration to the unseen realm that you are already in possession of what you desire. When you speak the psalm on August 12 and 13, 2025, Gratitude must not be an afterthought. It must be woven into every word, every breath, every heartbeat. Without gratitude, your declaration is like a seed thrown on hard ground. It may be alive, but it cannot take root. With gratitude, your declaration becomes a seed planted in rich, fertile soil, watered daily until it bursts through the surface. Gratitude is powerful because it shifts you from the energy of lack to the energy of possession. Lack says, I need. Possession says, I have. The universe and the spiritual laws respond not to desperation, but to assurance. When you thank God in advance, you are standing in the vibration of possession. You are no longer trying to get something. You are simply receiving it into your awareness. That shift is magnetic. It pulls into your life the people, resources, and opportunities that match the frequency of what you are thankful for. This is why Jesus, before multiplying the loaves and fish, looked up to heaven and gave thanks before the miracle occurred. He was not trying to convince God to act. He was acknowledging that the provision was already there in the unseen, and his gratitude was the bridge that brought it into the visible. On August 12 and 13, when you declare the psalm, I want you to speak it as one who has already received the answer. Do not pray with the tone of a beggar knocking on a door, hoping someone will let you in. Pray with the tone of a rightful heir turning the key to their own house. Your gratitude will be the sound of confidence, the fragrance of trust, and the seal of faith. Thank God for the open doors as though you have already walked through them. Picture yourself writing the testimony, telling others what happened, and smile as if it is already done, because in the Spirit it is. But here is where many people miss the acceleration power of gratitude. They limit it to the moment of prayer. They say thank you during their devotion, but the moment they step out into the day, they slip back into worry, complaint, or doubt. Gratitude is not a one-time act. It is a continual posture. It is the atmosphere you live in, the lens through which you view everything. If you truly believe the door is already open, you will carry yourself differently. Your words will be lighter, your heart more at peace, your mind more focused. Even in the face of opposition, you will not panic because you know the outcome is already secure. Gratitude keeps you rooted in that knowing, no matter what your eyes see. In the 72 hours after you speak the psalm, gratitude will be your anchor. You may not see immediate evidence in the first hour, but instead of slipping into doubt, you will use gratitude to stay in alignment. Every time the thought arises, what if nothing happens, you answer it with, thank you, Lord, that it's already done. Every time you notice a situation that seems unchanged, you remind yourself, thank you for the unseen work that is happening right now. This consistent flow of gratitude keeps your faith alive and your manifestation moving toward you. Another reason gratitude accelerates manifestation is because it silences the voice of fear. Fear feeds on uncertainty. Gratitude feeds on certainty. Fear says it might not happen. Gratitude says it has already happened. Fear looks at what is missing. Gratitude looks at what is promised. When you choose gratitude, you starve fear of its power. And without fear, there is nothing left to block the flow of blessing into your life. This is why Paul wrote, in everything give thanks. He understood that gratitude is not dependent on circumstances. It is a spiritual decision that aligns you with God's abundance regardless of what your physical senses perceive. I want you to also understand that gratitude is not just emotional, it is active. You can demonstrate gratitude through your actions even before the blessing manifests. If you believe a new door is opening, prepare for it. If you believe an opportunity is coming, get your schedule ready. If you believe provision is on the way, make room for it. These are acts of faith that confirm your thankfulness. When Noah built the ark before the rain came, it was an act of gratitude. He was preparing for what God promised as though it were already real. In the same way, you can prepare your life in anticipation of the doors you have thanked God for. On August 12 and 13, after speaking the psalm with deep gratitude, carry that energy into everything you do. Walk with a smile, expecting favor. Treat every encounter as a potential connection to your answered prayer. Speak kindly to others, as if you are already overflowing with blessing. This keeps the atmosphere around you charged with the same energy that opens doors. You will be surprised how people respond to you differently, how opportunities seem to gravitate toward you, and how situations shift in your favor simply because your spirit radiates thankfulness. Think of gratitude as the wind in the sails of your faith. Without it, the ship may still move, but slowly and with great effort. With it, the ship catches the wind and moves swiftly toward its destination. Your declaration on these appointed days is the ship. Gratitude is the wind that will carry it into manifestation in record time. And just like the wind, gratitude is invisible, yet its effects are undeniable. Here is the most beautiful part. Gratitude not only accelerates what is coming, but it also expands it. When you are thankful for one open door, you attract more doors. When you appreciate a single blessing, you make space for the blessing to multiply. This is why people who live in gratitude often seem to experience wave after wave of favor. It is not luck, it is law. So in these powerful days and the hours that follow, make gratitude your constant companion. Speak it, feel it, live it. Let your thankfulness rise from the core of your being, not as an empty ritual, but as the overflow of knowing you are already standing on the other side of the door you prayed for. And watch as gratitude not only accelerates the manifestation, but also enlarges it beyond what you imagine. Gratitude is the accelerator, the multiplier, and the seal. Speak the psalm with it, walk in it, rest in it, and the doors will not only open, they will open wider and faster than you ever thought possible. Beloved, you must understand a truth that changes everything. Doors in life are not merely physical structures, opportunities, or moments in time. They are spiritual states of consciousness. The door you are waiting for is not just a job offer, a financial breakthrough, a restored relationship, or a long-awaited chance. It is a vibration, a mental position, an inner atmosphere that you must step into before the outer world can reflect it. Most people live believing they are outside the door, waiting for God to open it, when in truth, the moment you align your inner state with the reality you desire, you are already inside. You see, consciousness is the master key. The psalm you speak on August 12 and 13, 2025, is not a set of magical words that force God's hand. It is a sacred catalyst that shifts your awareness, lifts your perspective, and moves you from a state of lack, delay, or denial into the realm where the doors are already standing open. When you declare it with faith, you are not asking for the door to open. You are agreeing with the truth that it is already open in the unseen, and your shift in consciousness pulls that reality into manifestation within 72 hours. Imagine this. You stand before a great golden gate in the spirit, tall and immovable, with intricate patterns carved into its surface. You may have been there for months, years, or even decades in your life, desiring healing, freedom, love, abundance, or purpose. Each time you knock, you expect to hear movement on the other side, but you hear only silence. This is where most people lose faith, assuming the door is locked or God has denied them. But here is the mystery. Your knocking was not in vain. It was not a test to see how long you could wait. It was an invitation to shift states. The moment you stop approaching the door as an outsider begging to be let in, and instead see yourself as one who belongs inside, the lock vanishes. That is what speaking the psalm with feeling does. It changes your sense of self, so you no longer stand in separation from your blessing. You step into union with it. Every door you desire already exists in the spiritual realm. The only question is, what state of consciousness are you inhabiting right now? If you live in the state of fear, the door will appear closed. If you dwell in the state of unworthiness, the door will seem distant. If you remain in the state of doubt, the door will look sealed shut. But shift into the state of gratitude, certainty, and divine belonging, and the door will reveal itself as already open, beckoning you to step through. That's why the psalm is so powerful. It is not just a request, it is an activation. The moment you speak it with vision, you are moving from one realm of being to another. Think of it like tuning a radio. The station you want to hear is already broadcasting, but unless you turn the dial to match its frequency, all you hear is static. Your blessing is broadcasting on the frequency of faith, joy, and trust. When you say the psalm, you are turning the dial of your spirit until you are in perfect alignment with that signal. The moment you are in that state, the music plays, opportunities flow, doors open, and miracles unfold, because they can no longer hide from you. They are not being sent to you after the fact. They were always there, waiting for you to step into their atmosphere. But here is where many miss it. They speak the words, but their inner state remains unchanged. They recite the psalm while still holding on to images of failure, doubt, or impossibility. Beloved, you cannot inhabit two states at once. You cannot say, "The Lord is my shepherd," while imagining lack. You cannot declare, "He makes a way where there is no way," while mentally rehearsing all the ways it could fail. This is why, on August 12 and 13, when you speak the psalm, you must close your eyes and see yourself already inside the answer. Feel what it's like to live in that reality. Hear the sounds of the open door, your phone ringing with good news, your email filling with acceptance letters, your body moving in health, your home filled with peace. Let your inner world match the outcome you seek, and the outer world will have no choice but to mirror it. In the next 72 hours after you speak the psalm, the physical doors will respond to your spiritual state. People will suddenly remember your name. Opportunities will resurface from places you thought were long gone. Closed cases will reopen. The impossible will become available. Why? Because once you are in the right state of consciousness, you do not have to force the door. It swings open because that is the law of the Spirit. The universe, under God's command, cannot withhold from one who has already stepped into the reality of possession. And let me give you a final truth that will strengthen your faith. When you step into a higher state of consciousness, you do not merely open one door. You open every door connected to that state. For example, stepping into the state of abundance may not only release a financial blessing, but also restore relationships, improve health, and increase joy. Why? Because all these blessings exist on the same spiritual floor, so to speak. When you enter the floor, every room on it becomes accessible. That is why you will not only see the specific door you've been waiting on open in 72 hours, but other unexpected doors will also unlock, surprising you with favor you didn't even think to ask for. So on August 12 and 13, speak the psalm not as a plea, but as a proclamation. Stand tall, lift your head, and declare it as one who already belongs inside the place you desire to be. Let the words change your inner state until you feel the shift deep in your bones. Walk away knowing the door is already open, and live these next 72 hours as if the blessing were already in your hands, because, beloved, in the unseen realm it already is. The moment you accept that truth and wear it in your spirit, the doors will open without effort. And when they do, you will realize the greatest secret of all. The door was never locked. It was waiting for you to arrive in the right state of consciousness where it could reveal itself to you.